Go.
It's running. What you're thinking? What do you want to share?
What do I want to share? I don't know. Like, the kids and I were worshiping this morning. And I'm just, like, looking out here. You know. Just kind of doing this, like.
Mm-hmm.
But on the right nose. And I'm singing, and we're just hanging out. And I see this bird, like, fly across as I'm going, like, just singing about how much he loves us and how well he cares for us. And I see this bird fly by, and I burst into tears. And I'm like, why am I crying?
Wow.
It was just this bird. But there was this moment of recognition, like, he takes care of that bird. And how much more does he take care of me? Like, here it is, the middle of winter, and that bird's not freaking out like, how am I gonna eat? What am I gonna do? I have to make sure that I have my 401k set in place. Where's my retirement? How am I gonna pay these bills? Hi! I just think, man, that bird's just flying around, middle of winter. You know, just being a bird. The Lord's totally caring for that bird. He's got it under control.
It's good.
And here we are, like, why worry?
Because we don't trust.
Yeah, I mean, but the Lord
Well,
has made the way.
His goodness.
We don't have an understanding, of His goodness. I feel like maybe I should stop. What's going on over there? Oh, no! Please hold. Okay. Chaos says, nope, just switch. So now they're throwing blocks of ice snow at each other. Well, we'll just handle life until one of them comes in crying.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not to worry. Not worrying about life.
Amen.
The Lord is really, He's revealing to me that He really has, He has prepared the way for us. He has equipped us to genuinely not worry about anything. And how to have the revelation of
That's so good.
of how
Simple.
good He is, yeah. And that it really isn't even our place to worry. And I used to hear that all the time. It's not our place, and who are you to worry? And that just shows that you don't trust God and all of this stuff. And that whole idea of, when you worry about something, it just reveals that you don't trust the Lord. Or when you worry, or fret or about these things, it just reveals that you think that you can do a better job than God does, or whatever, That, it's true, but, man, there was no freedom in knowing that. I know that, but it doesn't help me to not worry. So, Lord, how do we convey the joy and the freedom and the peace and that comes with the revelation of going, oh, we weren't created to worry because He really has it all under control. Like He really has, He cares for us. And to be able to see from His perspective, So that instead of hearing about all of, these worries and fears that, my friends have, instead of going, well, it just means that you don't trust the Lord. Like, they know that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help them in the moment. What can, what's the truth that can, that reveals to them that they have already been lifted up out of their circumstances, that the Lord has done everything. And when he says to don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, present
it has to do with knowing who he is as a good father.
Mm-hmm. So
it
then
starts with that foundation. To me, I'm thinking that right now.
Yeah. Going back to actually considering what a good father is, like putting it in and a tangible, practical, like a application. Yeah. There's so much freedom in seeing, it sounds weird, but to see your kids struggle and go, I'm not going to worry about this, Lord, you love them so much. I'm just going to continue to declare your victory and your truth.
Yeah.
And live by faith and not by sight. Focus on your truth, on the unseen. What I see is bad, but the unseen is true.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to continue to declare your truth. Man, to be a kid and to have your mom, or dad, or guardian or whatever, your parent of some sort or another, not flip out when you're struggling and add to your anxiety. I just remember feeling the weight of like not knowing what the heck I'm going to do with my life and how I'm even supposed to survive high school. You don't understand, Mom. These kids are making fun of me. What else am I supposed to do? This is the only way that I get attention. This is the only way people notice me, is by doing, X, Y, and Z or whatever. Or these are my friends. You can't tell me not to hang out with them. I get that they don't do things that you think are good, but if you tell me I can't hang out with them, that means I don't have anybody to hang out with. And then just to see my parents' anxiety and fears, and just to go, I'm totally helpless and lost. There's nothing that I can do. That was the perpetual feeling. I always choose wrong. I feel, I can't help but do this, and it's always the wrong choice, and I'm always disappointing my parents, making them freak out over stuff. But to have a parent who lives in freedom and can go, no, I just love you. The Lord just loves you. And this is a hard situation that you're in. It's going to be hard to make the right choice here. But the Lord has totally equipped you, and I know that you are amazing, and that the Lord is just so passionate about you and just delights in you. So I'm just going to love you and encourage you. I'm going to train you up and encourage you. I'm not going to freak out about this, because the Lord has you and he loves you. Like, just to hear that, gosh, just that sweet. The weight is lifted.
Yeah.
We're just here for such a bigger reason than what we think.
Seems like sometimes we tend to focus on the negatives or the sin, or instead of the character of God and just the love and what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. The Lord isn't wringing his hands, I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were just talking about just our language, it's just really difficult. Here's my struggle. And and we kept going back to, with every time that it was presented, this is where I'm struggling right now. This is my struggle. This is where it's difficult. We had to stop and go, okay, wait a second. Is that true? Is this your struggle? Is this really difficult? Or is it just a change of perspective? Is this really like something that you struggle? And she's like, yeah, I get it. It's simple. I just keep forgetting. Well, does the Lord forget? No. Has he given you his mind? Like, trust that. Even this morning, I was sitting down and like, I just want to worship you, Lord. I just want to love you and focus on you. And I look out the window and I'm like, I wonder what those guys are doing. Oh, Lord, And then it's the recognition, wait a second, Lord, you're not distracted.
Yeah.
You're not distracted. You're focused on me. Your focus is on fellowship and communion, intimacy with me right now. And so that's my focus. I just choose to not be distracted. And for every time that I get distracted, I go, no, you're not distracted, so neither am I. It's simplicity. It's really that change of perspective, because beforehand, I could be just as distracted this morning as I was, last year. But the difference is, instead of me going, gosh, I'm just so distracted, I can't do this, and then stop, I go, I don't have to be distracted. And I press in.
Yeah.
Because that's not who I am. And before, I would let that distraction overwhelm me and go, I can't have, the kids are doing this, and I'm just trying to get some peace and quiet. And so this morning, Ezra's banging on the trash can, playing drums on the trash can, and they're screaming and yelling in the background. And I'm like, this doesn't bother you. You're not getting irritated by all this noise and chaos. You're just enjoying time with me. And it's sweet to be able to hear the kids yelling and running around and playing and doing whatever. It's not a distraction. It's not an irritation to you. So it's not going to be for me.
Amen. That's good.
I feel like that's the simplicity. That's the simplicity of a new life. It's going, I don't have to be that way anymore. And it's not through work. It's because you're not that way. And it's no longer I who live, but it's Christ who lives in me. So I just choose to no longer be the old me. I'm going to let you live in me. So Lord, we just speak that out. Declare that truth. Simplicity, you've totally equipped us. It is finished. You've done your work. Yeah. And it's complete. And then you offer it to us. And we gladly accept new life in you. So thank you for new life in your life. I was singing that song, Mercy by Amanda Cook, and she was some of the verses. What is it? I'm blameless in your sight. Is it my past erased, my history rewritten? And I was thinking about that it's not, my history is rewritten when I surrender to him. And my life is no longer what I've done in the past, but it's him. It's just him. I am no longer who I used to be. Nancy needs a nap.
It's good though. It's just really good. It's just a refreshing message.
Yeah. 15 minutes.